Well, they just sent me their brand new Shokz OpenComm UC, and this is what I have on right now. I don't have the mic cut over to it yet. I'm still using my Yeti mic, but I'm going to cut over to the mic so you can hear how the mic sounds. So what makes the Shokz UC different than the OpenRun Pro, which I have been using the OpenRun Pro for this entire time. I was using it on my rowing machine all week. I was using it when I go to pick up my son from his friend's house. Love the Shokz OpenRun Pro. The difference between the UC and the OpenRun Pro is the UC comes with a tiny little USB receiver that you plug in a USB port, and it's a Bluetooth transmitter slash receiver itself that comes auto paired with the Shokz headphone. So you don't have to even go into your computers like Bluetooth, search for devices and find it. It's auto paired. So the moment you plug it in, you will see a new sound device under your audio and your microphone in your Windows PC. You will see the Shokz OpenComm UC. So it says Aftershokz Loop 100. So you'll see a device that says Aftershokz Loop 100 in your sound panel the moment you plug it in. And then you get these bone conduction headphones to use with your PC. I loved using them with my phone, right? But for some reason, and I'll be 100% honest with you, I was never able to get the Open Move or the OpenRun Pro to pair successfully with my PC. Even though they're Bluetooth, even though the PC supports Bluetooth, I was never able to get the OpenRun Pro or the Open Move to work with my Windows PC. I've tried numerous times, every trick in the book. This is why there's the OpenComm UC. Flawless. The moment I plugged it in, recognized it right away, set it as the primary sound and microphone device, and it worked absolutely perfectly. I was really, really pleased with how well it worked. So the bone conduction, again, it sounds exactly like the OpenRun Pro. I can't tell you that I have any noticeable sound difference. Whereas I could tell you that the OpenRun Pro sounds better than the Open Move. I can actually hear the difference in quality. I can't hear the difference in quality between the OpenComm UC and the OpenRun Pro. They sound exactly the same to me. And I tested with the same Spotify playlist on my phone with the OpenRun Pro and then on my PC with the OpenComm UC, and they sound exactly the same. No noticeable difference or perceivable difference from me. As with all bone conduction headphones, you get much better clarity in the mid-range and the high-frequency range. You get a little bit of buzziness and distortion in the low-frequency, high-bass range because the lower frequencies don't seem to travel through the bone as well as the higher bass frequencies. So whereas audiobooks, listening to somebody speak, podcasts, come through perfectly. If you're going to be listening to very, very deep bass or heavy metal music or electronica that's deep bass, it might be a little muddy, but I still like having my ears open and hearing what's going on around me. And now, instead of you guys seeing me have to put on my Logitech G Pro X, cover my entire ears when I'm listening to my B-roll videos, I can now use this to listen to my B-roll videos so I can hear them and not have to cover my whole head with giant ear cups.
So now you should be hearing the microphone from the Shokz OpenComm UC. Let me know if you hear microphone difference. Now I did notice the microphone sounded like a car headset microphone. It wasn't, obviously it didn't sound as clear as my Yeti X, but I thought it was pretty passable. The background noise cancellation was pretty good. I still have a fan going on behind me. But you let me know. You're hearing the microphone of the Shokz OpenComm UC plugged into my PC right now. Let me know how the mic sounds to you, considering that this little boom mic right here that's on the Shokz OpenComm UC. I could simply rotate my camera when I get my treadmill or I need to stand up and have you watch me do something standing up instead of sitting here in my chair. I could just simply rotate my camera in future streams and have this as my headset with my microphone just for when I need to step away from my desk and I'm too far from my Yeti mic to talk into it. So this could work for that.
But one thing about the Shokz, which I will tell you about with the PC, is there's a slight delay when you start your music between the signal picking up. So if you're somebody who's stop and starting sounds a lot, it has a slight latency. So if you're using your Shokz for gaming, which I don't necessarily recommend for gaming because it doesn't really have the fidelity for gaming, but I was testing it with some games, and I noticed that that not when you're actively using it, but when you first start it up, it has a tiny bit of latency, noticeable latency between what you hear and when it finally hits your ears. So matching the real-time audio with the video had a little bit of just a slight latency delay. So it's better for audio only, probably not quite as good if you're doing exact mapping of like lip reading to the audio itself, just to the slight latency.